Google Voice and Hangouts is a great service packed with features, essentially giving users a free phone number for free unlimited talk and text. If you haven't seen my review video, be sure to check out my Google Voice and Hangouts review video right here. In this video, I want to test out how much cellular data Google Voice and Hangouts actually uses. So while you do get a free phone number, you are reliant on some sort of internet connection to use that phone number to make calls and send texts. And in this video, I want to test out how much cellular data making calls and sending texts with Google Voice and Hangouts uses on the iPhone. So first up, I'm going to go to my settings application, go to my cellular data tab, scroll all the way down and reset my cellular data usage statistics. You can now see my current period is at 0 bytes. When I scroll down to Hangouts, you can see that application is also at 0 bytes of data usage. There's no data usage. Next, I'm going to send 100 text messages and receive 100 text messages to the Hangouts application. So how I'm going to do this is I'm going to send a text message with 4 anagrams to myself in a group chat. That way I'll be sending 100 messages and I'll be receiving 100 messages, and we can see how much data that uses. The reason I'm sending and receiving 100 text messages is because I anticipate a text message to use very little amounts of data, and I want to actually record some amount of data usage. So what I'm sending is the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog, pack my box with 5 dozen liquor jugs, the 5 boxing wizards jump quickly, bright vixens jump, dozy fowl quack. So again, this is just 4 anagrams, and you can see right here, this message uses 160 out of 160 characters, which is the current limit for text messages. So now that I'm in Hangouts, I'm going to literally paste and send the anagram to myself 100 times. This will send the text message to the group chat, and because my other Hangouts number is in the group chat, I will receive the text message 100 times, and I can easily keep track of what number I'm at by the amount of unread messages on the Messages application. So here we go. So just so you can see how we're doing, if I jump home, you can see I have 21 unread messages, which means I've sent the text message 21 times and received it 21 times, and I'm going to continue going until I'm at 100. Okay, so I've successfully sent and received 100 messages using the Hangouts application. I ran into a couple hiccups, one where messages actually failed to send, and my method of counting the messages actually failed, so my Cricket phone number actually stopped receiving messages in the group chat. I'm overlooking that. That's okay, because I was actually able to send and receive the messages from one Hangouts account to the other Hangouts account in the group chat, and those accounts were able to receive the messages, so I can still count this. Again, this is one account where I sent the messages from. If I jump to my other account, you can see this is my second account where I received all of the text messages to. So because I was sending text messages from the Hangouts application to the Hangouts application, I can still count this as a valid test. I was able to send 100 messages from one account and thus receive 100 messages on the other account. So now if I jump into my settings and go to Cellular, you can see my current usage is at 1.2 megabytes, but if I scroll down to the Hangouts application, you can see the total usage is at 1020 kilobytes. So to send and receive 100 text messages using the Hangouts application, it's going to use about 1 megabyte of data, because a megabyte is 1024 kilobytes. So if you use Google Voice and Hangouts to send and receive messages, you can send and receive 100 messages and only use 1 megabyte of data. Again, I was at the 160 character limit, so if you send messages that are shorter than that, you can probably send a lot more messages in 1 megabyte of data. And I was sending and receiving, so if you're just sending messages, you can send about 200 messages at the 160 character limit and only use 1 megabyte of data. So this is insane. This pretty much means you have unlimited texting, in my opinion, just because you're using such low data to send and receive text messages. So the second part of this video is how much cellular data Google Voice and Hangouts uses to make a phone call. To test this, I'm going to go into the settings application and reset my cellular data usage. And now I'm going to jump into the Hangouts application and make a phone call for 30 minutes. So I'm calling home for 30 minutes. All right, bye. Okay, so I just finished a 30-minute phone call from home. Let's see how many megabytes of data that phone call used. So jumping into the settings app, going to cellular, scrolling down to Hangouts, you can see Hangouts used 20.2 megabytes of data. So again, that was a 30-minute phone call. I was actively talking with my parents during the phone call. So that's a very accurate, in my opinion, very accurate estimate of how much cellular data Google Voice and Hangouts uses when you make a phone call. So 20 megabytes for 30 minutes is about 40 megabytes per hour of talking using Google Voice and Hangouts. So again, Google Voice and Hangouts used 40 megabytes of data per hour of talk time, which is about 0.67 megabytes per minute. And while I was texting, Google Voice and Hangouts used 1 megabyte of data to send and receive 100 text messages. So that wraps up this video. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.